So we're just going to make a bunch of copies and give them away on the street.
So there's a copy up here. We'll give it away after, so someone can make a bunch.
We do have some lawyers here tonight.
Yeah, okay, they know.
Careful with them.
Yeah.
Guys, we did mention that there was some taboo lines, and that when you start working for Viacom and you get caught up in studios, you are in a corporate world rather than the independent kind of maverick world that you were in before. There was a famous episode when you were going to have a cartoon of the Prophet Mohammed in your South Park, and sort of pulled it, kind of backed out in a clever way. You got around.
No, Comedy Central pulled it.
Yeah.
So can we just go over that, because that is one of those.
Yeah, because it was an interesting thing, because and this is what happened. We had Muhammad in an episode of South Park 4 years ago, and it was. He was a positive character. He was a superhero that turned himself into a beaver and fought Abraham Lincoln. What really happened, we both had the same reaction when we weren't in the same place, but we one day turned the news on and there's all these people rioting in the Middle East, and it said, "Cartoon of Muhammad sparks riot." We're like, holy shit, they just figured it out? I guess they just saw it there or whatever, and then it was shown, what this was all about, and then it was called Cartoon Wars, and we were just like, wow, all right, well, we got to do something about this. And it was amazing. Right away we were saying to Comedy Central, we're like, well, when we come back, we're going to have Muhammad on again. And they're like, oh, no, you're not. We're like, no, we're not going to have bombs in his hat or anything. We're just going to have him, maybe he'll turn into a beaver again or something. But, it's like, and they're like, no, you can't do that. And we're like, well, why? We rip on Catholics and Mormons and Jews, and they were like, well, because, but these people will kill you. And we're like,
Really, they'll kill us.
yeah, and it was like, well, you can't do that. You can't say, okay, well, we'll make fun of anyone unless they threaten to kill us, and then we won't. Because it really became a big fight with it. We're like, that's really a bad line you're starting to draw here, and so we told them. They actually said, we would prefer you not even do an episode about this issue. And we're like, well, good going. Now we're doing it for sure. And
Cartoon Wars, we just couldn't help it. Have to do an episode about that, Cartoon Wars.
So we decided, and our big idea was, we'll have Muhammad on South Park, but it'll be on the show Family Guy, so they'll get bombed. But and then we had so we showed Muhammad in Family Guy on South Park, and then Comedy Central said, well, we're blacking it out, and so they put a black space there. So then we put in a text that said Comedy Central won't allow you to see this, and all it was Muhammad standing there at the door, hands Family Guy a football helmet, and walks away, and they blacked it out. So then right after that, just to make a point, we're like, then we had Jesus Christ shitting on George Bush. That's fine. All right.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It kind of illustrates that when you do start getting involved in a corporate world, which happens very, very quickly, you go from kind of an architect, colleague, animators, to suddenly being kind of in the middle of a kind of geopolitical kind of jigsaw puzzle.
Right.
How does that change the way you work, or does it just make it even more stupid and give you more kind of?
Just in the last, it's been pretty much a really good experience for us, actually. We work for Viacom, but we have full creative control over our show. We do whatever we want, and the episodes we're all talking about all air. And then there's one extra, and then they got on the air and they were pulled after people gave and they're all they're not related, but in the last 6 months, out of the blue, we've had 3 episodes that have been a big problem. One was a Scientology one was a Catholic one that got pulled because there's a really prominent member of the Viacom board is a Catholic, so they pulled that off. And then the third was this whole Muhammad issue that we fought tooth and nail to show Muhammad. We were really disappointed. We thought that of all the places in America, Comedy Central had the most guts. They've let us do the most stuff. We can do this in a smart way that will make a cool point. And when they wouldn't do it, that's when we got really disappointed more. Way less about Viacom, more about America, because we couldn't even just blame it on Comedy Central. No one would have shown that in the United States, and so that had less to do with the corporate world than just how kind of wimpy everyone had gotten. But just in the last 6 months, we've been dealing with a lot, and I don't know if it's something to do with something in the air.
Well, that's why it's a natural kind of path for a satirist. It happened here with the Oz trials in the 70s and the Pythons with Life of Brian, who get shouted at being blasphemous.
We talked about that. Maybe we've just pushed it too far. We just, oh shit, now we've done it.
But that's better than, that's the thing is at first we were saying, the first thing that happened was they pulled this Catholic episode. It's called Bloody Mary. And they pulled it, we're like, oh, you're pulling it up, how dare you pull an episode, but it was like, all right, well, you have the right to do that, but this is a bad precedent you're setting here. Because if you're going to pull that for Catholics, then the next religious group is going to ask you to pull it, and then the next group's going to ask you to pull it, and pretty soon, you're done, and so there really was this big fight, and now, again, we've been told time and time again that these are all going back on in July, and everything's fine, but on the one hand, it really was like, it's bullshit, things are really changing, man. It used to be free in America, but now, they pull these things off. And then on the other hand, we're like, we did have the Virgin Mary shit blood in the Pope's face. Which we didn't really do, 8 years ago. So,
the arrow's been just completely towards more leniency and more freedom for people like us. And we felt like in America since we started. But yeah, we did. That was we were like, maybe that was. I don't know.
But the more successful you get, the more the money they give. Is there a tendency?
It is, but it's not
going to push the envelope.
It's not. Well, it's not just that. The people who run Comedy Central, the startup, our business model is that subject matter. If we don't do stuff like if we're not talking about the things that no other show will talk about, then we'll have to quit because that's what's made the money in the first place that they're all talking about. For us, for the show. So
I really think that the money has actually made us more powerful because now we've done it many times where we're like, okay, we'll leave, we'll quit, and
we said we're doing a Mohammed. They didn't want us to do a Mohammed show. We said we're doing a two-parter because you don't want a Mohammed show. We're going to do 2 shows. We're going to turn it in, and you can air it or not.
And they're like, you can't say that. You do the show for us. And we're like, we'll quit.
Yeah, we don't care. We have, we've had enough success, enough money, and we're doing fine. And it actually gives. There's a weird thing that it gives you more freedom. To go to we're actually starting to work maybe on a stage musical. Everyone's almost like, there's no money in Broadway. What are you doing going to Broadway? There's no money in that. It's like, well, we don't need it now. Now we can go do stupid stuff, anything we want to do. So it kind of works both ways.
Casual Weber did the right after it.
He did right, yeah. But most people don't.
What are we looking at some kind of original music here, or?
Oh, it's like a very. So the point is like we can even entertain doing that because we don't have to worry about paying the rent, and it's given us more freedom and more. I don't think any other show, at least on Comedy Central in our small world, could have gotten them off because they would have just said you're not doing a Mohammed show. That's it. But with us, they can't. They can't say okay, we're gonna stop doing South Park.
There's really no one in LA, even we have a lot of friends, in the TV world on way bigger shows than ours, and when they hear the freedom we have, they're like, well, who reads your scripts? Nobody. Lawyers have to read our scripts, but they're like, well, who gives you notes? We're like, notes? Nobody gives us notes, and so it's pretty great.
We're totally spoiled, actually. Yeah. If someone gives us a note, we're like, what? So maybe we use a few notes.
Well, we do like the musical fugitive as it is. Don't forget to bring it here. As you can see, there's a huge fan base for your work here. What I want to do is open up to questioning from some of those fans, and if anyone has some, please do put their hands up. There was very quick hands up there.